it'd be best to just use it on Slur, because of course he will basically be alone as Alone's in Yada, but we didn't see Slur come, and he managed to get a pick on Tri-Spear and basically open up that entire point. Eternal Academy once again are going to be coming out maybe with some of these DPS picks. It seems to have been the go-to here for both of these teams. Both of these teams have very much enjoyed straying away from a classical 3-3. She's like, anything you can do, I can do better. Speaking of which, Mao's left with 10 HP there by damage boosted headshot. That does 390 damage out of a 400 HP health bar that Zaya has available.
So yikes. He's got a lot of ult charge already. Damage boosted headshot's doing a lot of that too. Zeal is going to be on the Farah once more. Again, this is the same situation that Eternal Academy were putting themselves in last time, where they had the Farah and they were able to, oh, the names are actually switched around, so that confused me slightly there, but...
At any rate, Zeal currently not getting the concussive blast that he wants, won't be able to escape that pressure, but it's going to be JK Lol who's attempting to escape now. Zeal trying to chase it down, but there's going to be too much healing for him to overcome by himself.
I literally confused myself for nothing almost there. Tri-Spear and Kenzie are going to be able to find picks. Emphasize now activated as well, so Zeal has free reign almost on these tanks who can't really touch him in the skies. JK Lol also ends up falling. Molfig is going to be quickly killed off. Eternal Academy should be able to cap this point. It's pretty hard to actually get back to first on Voskaya without expending some major movement cooldowns. They managed to find a little bit more than they did on Blizzard World and eventually cap.
Speaking of major movement, Jules, we'll have to see if Eternal Academy want to swap up their comp, make any major shifts towards a different one as they look towards second point. They do look like they're in a great position to go for an EMP barrage combo. Already Zeal's there. Obling won't be knocked off though. Will use that shield bash to reposition himself.
I don't think he knew he was actually there. He was kind of walking up like a leisurely stroll up the stairs. That was very close.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, Jules.
Got a sting. You got to watch out for Zeal's sting at the moment. He's only 10% away from that barrage. Chow's got the EMP already, so they can just really bait people onto the point at this point.
Yeah, Morphic may decide to come down, try and contest him, maybe trying to give a little bit of distraction while Obling comes in from the side for that shield bash.
Morphic's going to need healing. Nice little shield there onto JK Lol, but gets instantly taken out as Zeal just opened up a barrage on his head as soon as he jumped to the back line. Tri-Spear's going to claim the kill on Eternal Academy and now getting capture progress.
And the EMP still available. No one on the point right now, though. Zeal drops straight down. Obling's already gone.
Nice pick onto Chow, in fact. Did use that EMP, and
they
got a hack on Molfig and Maus. They almost managed to get a tick, but that's now ticking back down as no one from Eternal Academy was actually touching. They do have a visor to use, however, they've got to clear off this D.Va first as it can eat it all up. Molfig gets ejected from the mech. Can Tri-Spear finish her off? Very, very close to going down. In fact, she receives armor back, and now Tri-Spear is actually in trouble. JK Lol chases her out. Choose Money Crew still holding the defense.
The old bait and switch, though, not happy with Eternal Academy's management of the objective right there. They could have just rolled on there with one of their quick characters and completed the game of the tick. Now they're going to have to start right again from zero. Going to be looking for it once again. Destroyed Venom Mine doesn't mean Kenzie won't have that available. And here comes JK Lol.
JK Lol jumping on someone's head instantly already. Zeal on the back line in the spawn. Managed to take out Maus. He ends up going down as well, though. Molfig jumping on his face was able to get a little bit of damage back to him. Rockets do splash damage, of course. JK Lol using that Primal Rage to shove the rest of Eternal Academy back, while the rest of his team can try and sustain themselves a little bit longer.
Tri-Spear doing a lot of damage back here. The Discord Orb will be cleansed away from JK Lol. Super Fluke opening up there with a pile driver onto the main tank.
He's got to be quite careful, though. He's trapped in the room with the monkey. Zeal and Kenzie open up the fight with two extremely good picks. Slur and Obling going down. Now they're relying on the healing of just a Lucio, which they can't really leverage all too much. Ascot is going to fall, though, and the rest of the tanks from Shoes Money Crew end up cleaning up. Supu laid down the mine, so no one can really touch it, but they still managed to get a tick. Spawn priority, though, for Shoes Money Crew.
Tick will be there, a damage orb coming out from a Moira damage for priority. If they want to get an early pick and dismantle Eternal Academy synergy.
It's all done. Eternal Academy are going to have to back off. Like I said, Shoes Money Crew have the spawn advantage, so a quick reset here from Eternal is going to be needed. Perhaps switching up a comp here. They all are going back to spawn, so 3-3 with the Sombra is going to be the order of today.
Mouse probably going to swap over as well. There it is. JK Lol going to remain on the Winston, however, wants to have that ability to move between these various levels of verticality at a moment's notice. Chow staying on the Sombra will have control of that main health pack, and of course the EMP ready to go.
He's lining up for an EMP. Self-destruct's going to come down as well, but it's completely boxed up by Super Fluke's shield. He finds 2 kills in the meantime as well. Everybody was hacked. There was not really much they could do, and they find the second tick. They got a touch, but now it's just Obling to try and defend. It's him against the world. They managed to get the second cap on the point, so a lot better than they did on Blizzard World, of course. And that was all Chow, just waiting for them to come in. It's like, we got capture progression. Like, you have to touch to make sure that we don't get the full cap. You get baited in, we EMP you, the rest is history.
Yeah, they made sure as well that EMP was incredibly effective by ensuring that there was no one that could stop Superfluke from shielding. Because, of course, to remove a Reinhardt shield, you either have to burst through it with damage, or you've got to use some kind of stunning ability, like a shield bash or something else, to remove that shield or a knockback onto Reinhardt himself. But by using the EMP, basically on top of Superfluke, he made sure that anyone who had line of sight onto a main tank would be unable to use an ability to remove that shield, and maintained the safety of Eternal Academy against that self-destruct, which was instrumental, because Eternal Academy, they didn't have any other ultimates. And after that EMP, of course, they could capitalize after the self-destruct on those hacked members who wouldn't be able to escape, especially trying to single out people like Mouse, who were up on the high ground but had a great amount of damage coming in towards them.
Well, now Shoes Money Crew get their chance to attack. Eternal, I want them to run out with this comp. Ash is so good on these high ground situations, and it's kind of hard to dive her too when you think about it. That coach gun does so much work to a jumping Winston. You see him jump in. If he doesn't use that bubble early to block that coach gun, he's not going to land on top of you because he gets just flung back. And the only real way you're going to be able to get Kenzie off of the high ground is actually circumnavigating the entirety of the high ground and pushing him off manually, just using the presence of your entire team.
Yeah, sometimes it's not even on Winston to make that happen, because even if he does block out the coach gun, it does work in two ways. It'll knock back the enemy Ashe as well, of course, who you are aiming for beforehand. Can put a well out of the reaching tendrils of the Tesla cannon. Shoes Money Crew going to be rolling out now. Morphic going to be on that Sombra. Question is, will he go back to spawn and change over to something else once he sees what's being run by Eternal Academy? I imagine he might be quite happy to just go over onto Brigitte, go for this 3-3, try and force Eternal Academy onto a point. Of course, Kenzie could use Bob to contest. That is one of the primary uses of that sort of faux hero.
Yeah, makes it a 7v6. Not all too impressive as well, because Bob does have aimbot basically, so it's kind of frustrating to actually deal with him unless he's pushed away. Nice little engagement there. Kenzie is still up on the high ground though, and you can see Shoes Money Crew doing what I kind of mentioned before. They want to be able to push Kenzie off the high ground, and they are going to, and Mao's in fact is going to push himself up on there. Kenzie using the coach gun though to reposition himself. He's now claimed another bit of high ground, but that mega health pack is going to get hacked away.
Morph losing that mech is absolutely critical here. That's going to be one less person who can dive onto Kenzie. It's going to be a good bit of cleave coming here from Superfluke. Going to have to use multiple abilities from Brigitte to get away from that, while Kenzie free fires through that doorway.
It's a perfect position as well for Eternal Academy. They have the health pack hacked, so they can use that as sustenance, just to, if Superfluke pushes in a little bit too far.
And now they are going to get the remake from Morphic. Does mean they now will be able to make a fully fledged dive onto one player. That's not the loop he wanted.
No, it's not. And now that is down. I think the rest of Shoes Money Crew know it. Superfluke is not going to be able to protect Tri-Spirit. He instantly falls. A resurrection lands on top of him. Jakey Low overextends just a little bit, but so does Superfluke as he goes down as well. But now it's Shoes Money Crew gaining time on this point. We're already up to 50%. Kenzie is 10% away from Bob being unleashed, but the rest of his team are already dead.
Yeah, it's going to have to be Chow who goes down to try and contest. Will be quickly disintegrated.
Yeah, no way, Kenzie. I mean, you're going to save Bob at that point. Very nice traverse of planes, like I said. Superfluke, he didn't have jump. Kind of messed it up, and the Zenyatta went down. He's like, okay, we've got to res the Zen. Now the Mercy's vulnerable, and it all just kind of fell apart from there.
Caught on the geometry. Shoes Money Crew, 3-3, lots of ultimates, lots of health going to be moving on forward here onto some vulnerable members of Eternal Academy. Bob will be available. Potentially hard to shut down. There's no sleep, there's no hack, and Zeal's already looking potentially for an early EMP here.
Oh, there it is. Lands on 4 people. However, Slur is going to use that Coalescence. Chow sends the Meki and actually kills off Mao's. A good start from Eternal Academy on their defense. Not going to want to invest anything more here, as they do force Shoes Money Crew away. Kenzie's going to get some additional damage. Hopefully find a nice little sag onto Slur, which he does so quite easily.
Kenzie there becoming a victim of the quite dangerous spread that you can get from a hip fire of Ash's weapon, not being able to hit that dynamite and give it the preemptive trigger that he wanted. We will see Bob potentially available here. Of course, he can contest the point even if he is disabled by either a hack or a sleep dart, and that contesting is incredibly important. We saw on the last point just how much pressure Shoes Money Crew with their 3-3 could put down onto the point without Eternal Academy being able to contest it.
Fade already forced out by Slur there. Kenzie was able to body shot him a couple of times to make sure he doesn't have that cooldown later on. JK Lowell having to use that Primal Rage as well. He was on fire, couldn't have much to do with the Ashe at that point, had to hide. Bob's now going to plant himself on the point as that rally is going off as well, so A lot of negated damage, but Bob's still putting out so much pressure, and you can see Shoes Money Crew just playing it safe now, backing off just for the time being.
Bob doing something, but so are Shoes Money Crew going for disengagement. A solo grab on Chow.
It's going to get met with a Transcendence as well. That bubble almost got the healing off, but the grab ended, which means free movement for Tri-Spear. Zeal is going to fall as he was in the back line, but a Coalescence and a beat being used by Shoes Money Crew. They want this point, they want this point now.
Bob's going to do something again. So fast there for Kenzie.
He is on the point. He's 1,000 HP. So hard to take down. Shoes Money Crew are going to be able to kill off JK Super Fluke as well. Still, Bob is contesting. Look, he's going down not quickly at all. And now Zeal is going to be able to contest once more. Molfig using the self-destruct, which means everybody has to cower. And Shoes Money Crew managed to find the point eventually.
Zia wants to get hacked from a back in a contest as well, but there was a great sightline there from Medivh, just placed on a pedestal in the middle. Everyone comes, look at the light, praise the sun, and disintegrate before its beams. And that was a great attack there from Shoes Money Crew, commanding a 30-second larger time bank than Eternal Academy currently have, which means Eternal Academy, once again, are going to be on the offense. We got to remind you guys, Eternal Academy here, they are fighting for their series. They are potentially fighting for their entire playoffs. And 3 minutes and 32 of what they've got, those are the resources in their bank that they have to try and keep themselves potentially in Contenders Season 1.
With high hopes for the team coming in, struggled just a little bit, but has shown major promise in the last couple of weeks, going up against AT and Hurricane, both of which series went to 5 games. They eventually lost them, but claimed a couple of maps here and there, but they need the series wins, Harry. They need them right now. They're going to be on the offense, as they had a lesser time bank, of course, like you just mentioned, 3 minutes and 30. Shoes Money Crew on the defense. Not mixing it up, they're just going to go with standard Monkey Goats.
We've got to give you a bit of credit as well to what I assume is JK Lowell and his shot calling. These dives are pretty perfect so many times coming through from Shoes Money Crew. Of course, we have been in the 3-3 meta for a while now. Some people may have disintegrated a little bit of... they've lost quite a bit of the acumen that used to exist for dive calling when that was our main meta, but JK Lowell appears to have held onto that, even though he was not competing, as far as we know, back in those eras. He's more of a newbie to Contenders, he's more of a fresh talent, but he is showing up so well.
He actually came from console gaming originally, right? I think a lot of us did, playing Xbox back in the day and PlayStation 2, of course, and this was his really first competitive game, and what a performance already, really, making it this far in Contenders. There's a quad DPS comp coming out from Eternal Academy to dismantle and distract the rest of Shoes Money Crew in the back line. Slur and Obling already fall. Tracer from Kenzie. It's been a long time, Harry, but I'm happy as back, just playing around these corners and just distracting Shoes Money Crew as a point percentage is being acquired by Eternal.
Only Gustav available for healing means JK Lowell is going to quickly be broken down. Zeal's going to chase on through here, not afraid at all. It's going to be a swap over to the Moira. Zeal's got to be careful. If he dies over that bottomless pit, he can actually be resurrected.
Look how aggressive Zeal is playing now. He can at this point. Like, who's going to check him in the air? I mean, Obling, I guess, but you're really relying on Molfig to get a defense matrix down to make sure those rockets don't do much damage. Eternal Academy are going to cap first. Instant 6-man switch up as well. Standard 3-3.
Don't want to play around at all here. Slur and Obling also going to move over. Shoes Money Crew ready for the mirror matchup here. And they are going to be about equal in terms of that ultimate percentage, with the exception of Molfig, who's quite far ahead, of course, because he's had a little bit of brawling time on that Diva. JK Lowell already swinging for Super Luke, who's got so aggressive here.
Uh-oh. Going to be after a little bit careful with your chow right now. Nice body block onto Molfig. He's trapped in a room. Instantly gets demeched, and actually Zeal ends up going down as well. Is this a good trade for Eternal Academy? I do not think so. Too many bodies are committing to trying to demech Molfig there. You saw Super Fluke and Zeal end up going down first. They have to go once more. They have 2 minutes to work with, though, Harry.
Crucially, though, Chow and Kenzie were up there in that room by themselves. Super Fluke was down on the ground, so that's 1 of 3 tanks that's currently pressuring the point. And everyone just turns around and is like, well, I guess we'll kill Super Fluke then.
He's the only one here.
If you guys insist, I guess we'll do that. JK Lowell maybe going to catch a little bit of damage here to give Mouse a top up on that energy. Currently starving for it, 13. Not the ideal, but he is, of course, in an ideal position to try and get that Graviton Surge. Only 10% between him and that very important ultimate for the 3-3. Can try and combine it with Molfig if he can get a little bit of ultimate charge farmed as well.
Just going to build up rather passively at the moment, like you said. Only a couple of percentage points away now. Now they can leverage this corner. It's like bait them in. Just wait for them to come to you, then find the grab. It gets launched into the back line as Tri-Spear gets taken down. A nice pin onto Zeal as well will end the team fight rather sharply. Eternal Academy still got time in the bank, but look at the ultimates. That was only 1 volt invested, Harry. They've got 5 to work with now. and they can just spread these out. A shatter can come through instantly. If you find 2 people, you can kill them. You maybe get 50% on a grab. What do Eternal Academy have? They've got ults coming online, but they're going to need to make this next fight quick.
What they've got, Jaws, is a minute. A minute left in their time bank to try and put up a great attack here that Shoes Money Crew are going to have to beat if they want to claim this series. They don't really have a huge amount of tools. They're about to have a couple more online, of course. Those will be available. Molfig right now, scouting out, maybe trying to get a little bit of early information to feed back to JK Lowell. He can lay down the hopes.
JK Lowell knows he's playing so far up, which means Eternal will have to push past them as well. JK Lowell's going to go low and has to cower behind the corner just for the time being, but they know time is in their favor. Obling uses that rally to start off the fight.
He's letting his shield recharge, almost 2,000 health once again, and then he can make sure that Eternal Academy back off. They had a minute. It's down to 20 seconds. This is going to be one fight, Jaws, and it's going to be one fight to rule them all. So many ultimates. It's going to get quick.
Eternal have 6 now as well, but Askoff and Superlu get shattered. A beautiful Graviton Surge stops JK Lowell in his tracks, and a Graviton Surge isn't going to be combined with much. The self-destruct gets launched in the air and detonated behind them. It's not going to find anything, but that beat is surging Eternal Academy forward. They force JK Lowell off of the point, and Zeal ends up going down. A 1-for-1 trade, but a Transcendence in the meantime from Tri-Spear to make sure they survive the oncoming assault from Choose Money Crew.
Another grab.
Grab thrown in by Mouse as well. Gustav finds the assassination kill onto Tri-Spear. Every kill is worth it now for Shu, who have spawn priority.
They do. They're going to try and get past the wall of Super Pluke.
Here's the ball as well. Managed to get back to the point in time, but a Graviton Surge stops the rest of the team from making it back. Gustav is still stalling as JK Lowell was able to get back as the Winston as well. Obling's now on his Tracer too. Super Pluke's going down. Eternal Academy are now running out of resources, and they haven't even found a tick. Is finally acquired as Chow used that self-destruct to clear everybody off, but a Transcendence just in time from Slur.
That's going to mean everyone's nice and healed up. There's not really enough pressure here. Overtime ticking down. Touch the point.
Chow's dead. Here comes Tri-Spear on the Moira, but it's only him. He's got another healer to back him up, but Choose Money Crew have the numbers, and they got the DPS. Mouse and Obling clearing everybody off the points. Eternal Academy find a little bit of time on second, but now they have to defend against Shoes Money Crew, who have a gargantuan time back of about 4 minutes.
And I've got to give credit once again to JK Lowell on his dive shot calling. They managed to take out Super Pluke. At the most important juncture, he charged away. He missed what he was looking for. And then we saw the Tracer and the Winston leap after him like, hey, while you're charging, you can't put your shield up. That means you can take a lot of damage from a Tracer. Those of you who've forgotten how much damage Tracer does, she does 240 damage in a clip. That's half of a Reinhardt's health bar in a second. That's a lot of burst damage that can be applied. And if you can hit headshots, that goes up to 480 damage, which is basically your entire Reinhardt gone in a moment. And that's exactly what Super Pluke was. Eternal Academy, it fell apart so fast, but at least through the efforts of Zeal, going around that center, getting a couple of knockbacks here and there, it wasn't a completely consistent defense. There was a chance to get that half a capture that Eternal Academy need to make sure that if they lose the first point here, this isn't a lost series.
I use Chow's mech as well. We've seen it a lot, and it's something that you should take to your ranked games too. Use that self-destruct, more of a zoning tool. Don't worry about getting the kills, especially when you're in those last couple of moments.
But my more stats, often than not, my KD.
More often than not, it's worth just clearing them off the point because you need percentage. They claimed 49 of it, or 49.6 to be exact.
We'll call it a half, we'll be generous.
Sure, 50% it is. Choose Money Crew on the offense, though.
I'm going to be rolling out once again with that Theravis, the same tactic they used, of course, on Blizzard World. Doesn't look like they're going to be sticking with that, though. Slur's going to go back, so is Obling. Swapping up to the classic 3-3, potentially. JK Lowell, once again on that Winston. I'm happy with this. JK Lowell's been a consistent dive caller, as we've said so many times. He appears to have a really good idea of how to pin down people like Tri-Spear, like Kenzie. I want to see a better way to account, though, for Askoff and the potential resurrections. They couldn't make that happen last time.
Dive onto Kenzie. No damage was coming through onto JK Lowell as he was protected by the Xayah shield. Dynamite went a little bit wide as well, so not the best shot in the world, but Kenzie did miss it ever so slightly, and the damage was just kind of negated by everybody speeding away from it.
Morphic hasn't lost his mech like he did last time, so this does mean they can have a wholesale dive here. Already the shield's been used. That could force JK Lowell to not make the dive for another 30. He's going to make it without the shield, Jaws.
Doesn't matter. He's chased Kenzie away, which is the most important thing, and Askoff's actually to force heal Kenzie here because he went so low. I mean, even Tri-Spear was vulnerable, same with Super Pluke. They're already dead, and Choose Money Crew are going to be able to find a cap on the point. Kenzie is dead, and now Askoff is also going to fall. Eternal Academy wiping the sweat off their brow at this point. They now have to defend second for just over 3 minutes. And Shoes Money Crew, they just need 50%, and that's it, and they've won the series.
Superlook made a super smart dive there as well. I mean, Jake Alon made a super smart dive. He forced Kenzie to move, and then Molfig went through after. Zeal's already dead. This is terrible for Eternal Academy. Their entire season.
Shoes Money Crew, they're going to use the grab as well. 3 people caught in. Chow had his back to the Zarya. Kenzie is already dead, and a Coalescence is just going to penetrate the mech. Chow is going to go down. A Transcendence rather late from Trispear. Had to go back to spawn. An EMP is going to come out from Zeal, but there's too many bodies on the point for Shoes Money Crew.
6 people hacked. The lights are out, but the lights are on once again with the sound barrier.
Beat onto 6 people. Superfluke and Ascot are getting back to the point, but one by one, they're going to fall. A couple more percent, and Shoes Money Crew are going to do it. A self-destruct on the point finds nobody, and they manage to just get back on time. Shoes Money Crew with a decisive 3-0 will claim the series over Eternal Academy.
And that could potentially be the elimination of Eternal Academy if they can't pick up a win next week, and they can't do it in a dominating style because their map score isn't going to be great after being defeated. At best, 3-1 here, of course, for 4-0. Still a potential for Shoes Money Crew EU, but welcome back to Contenders, Shoes Money Crew. We have missed you, and you're looking fantastic.
3-0. We still got another map to play, of course. Very, very scary for Eternal, like you said. Not going to be able to claim the series here, which does rely on a lot of situations that are sometimes out of their control as well when it comes to map differential. Maybe their maps they took off at Angry Titans and Hurricane a little bit earlier on in the season are going to help them. We'll have to wait and find out, of course. We're going to jump to a quick break, guys. Do not go anywhere. Map number 4 coming up soon. Hey guys, welcome back. This is Shoes Money Crew versus Eternal Academy. 3-0 has already been acquired by Shoes Money Crew, but the all-important map score is still to play for. Eternal Academy not off to the hottest start, but Shoes Money Crew, we mentioned it before, Harry. They win hard, they lose hard. Looking to make this a 4-0 almost.
Yeah, right now they are winning, and they are winning hard. But right now, Eternal Academy, it's got to be, they've got to claim this map jaws. Right now, it's not looking great for getting into playoffs. They're going to go 1-5. That is unavoidable. But they do have that map score. They went close with some of the top-tier teams in our group. And if they can get a couple more maps, they can maybe squeak out that 6th place. Just try and get in and try and avoid Contenders trials. It's going to be a must for them. But of course, Shoes Money Crew, they are equally desperate to get that higher seeding so you don't go up against one of our amazing first-placed seeded teams in the first round of playoffs.
Yeah, and 18.
Or like one of the mid-seed teams, of course, our first-place seeds get by.
Yeah, which is 80 or Hurricane looking like right now. Of course, they still need to play each other and actually find their first loss in this season of Contenders. Now we're on Gibraltar. Shoes Money Crew are going to start out on the defense. We've got Eternal Academy on the offense. And to me, this really does signal Shoes Money Crew just going, hey, we can play something a little bit different. We're not afraid. We've seen plenty of things on maps like Horizon where they run Bastion on the defense. We've already seen the prowess of Hobbling, and I think he's kind of a historic player anyway when it comes to DPS, like Tracer. And hey, we've got JK Low on the Monkey. You can solo tank, my man. Like, you can also jump on the Wrecking Ball. This, to me, screams DPS.
Yeah, and when we talk about Obling, I think Maus, Obling, and Molthig are like our little definition of grinders. They've been in Overwatch Contenders basically every season. I think they may have missed a few here and there. Maybe Obling missed out on 1 or 2. But all 3 of them have been consistent names around Contenders. And of course, they do come to our local lands like Insomnia as well. So they are heavy grinders, and they're always here trying to make their name in Overwatch. And they definitely have a chance to do so when they can potentially get through the playoffs here in Season 1 of 2019. Eternal Academy rolling out. They are showing the Bastion. Will they stick to it right now? He's having a bit of a crouch, doesn't want to reveal himself. But now Chow will place himself in the sentry position.
All right, let's go. Although there's no Orisa, so maybe Chow switches over here to a Diva or something. We'll have to wait and see. Although it's pretty hard to actually touch the Bastion regardless. I mean, you've got to deal with Zeal on Junkrat. You've also got to deal with Kenzie and Superluke in your back lines. Molthig tried to get the defense matrix on the Bastion. He gets quickly cleaned up as Maus was fairly high charge. Absorb most of those bullets into a shield and turn that into about 100 energy. And
of course, when you're sitting still, Slur's also got a perfect angle on you. If you look at our pause screen, you can see where those orbs are coming from towards the top right of your screen or the right center. He could just continually punch orb after orb into Chow, especially with that Discord orb. There was no real way to defend him. He was trying to get healed up by Ascoft, but of course he didn't want to self-heal because it was incredibly important he continue laying down the 450 DPS the Sentry Cannon can provide. However, I think this is a worthwhile trade at this point because of course Shoes Money Crew, they're so far away from their own spawn. Our pause has thankfully been rather short and brief, so Eternal Academy will once again try and keep up their momentum here.
Chow's 50% towards tank. Kind of curious if he just switches off. Does look like he's going back into the spawn. Another quick pause, though. Do apologize, ladies and gentlemen.
Couple of issues. But, well, like, we're theory crafting. Chow, he could, of course, move over, but he does have 6% of the way towards the tank form. And the tank form, or configuration tank, rather, can be incredibly useful with its high burst damage per shell, especially when you're up against multiple healers. They find it a lot harder to deal with burst damage compared to the sustained damage. And sustained damage is one of the reasons why DPS are less prolific in this meta, because it's so hard to do that consistent sustained damage through 3 healers. Like if you bring out maybe a Genji or a soldier, that poke damage, it doesn't mean anything because someone's just going to flick on a healing aura or hit a mace swing and then you're going to get healed up again. The burst damage, all the heavy damage output that you can get from something like a Bastion in Sentry configuration or a Junkrat is incredibly valuable against those triple healers.
Yeah, we do apologize for the brief pause, guys. Hopefully we'll get that sorted in just a moment. And I think Chow, well, he's posturing to go back towards the spawn. It wouldn't surprise me all too much. Like you said, a lot harder in the 3-3 to kind of deal with burst damage. There's not really too many sources of burst healing in the game thus far. I mean, we've got Armor Pack, of course. Batiste has kind of got a little bit of burst healing with his right click too, but he's not going to be enabled until playoffs. So there's not too many of that. I mean, obviously Arna Nade as well, but you're really looking at burst heals when dealing with this burst damage coming out from the Bastion. Doesn't like I mentioned before, they are switching over though. Standard 3-3. Superfluke not on the Winston. It's going to be on the Reinhardt instead. Mouse wasn't really paying attention, looking the opposite way and ends up getting taken out rather fast.
Eternal Academy's composition far from Eternal at this point. Kenzie's going to try and back off, keep himself alive, and keep that all-important energy. And the cart will begin to move. Morphic's going to go down and contest. JK Lowell right alongside him.
That's a bad situation. JK Lowell's got that shadow online as well. It's going to run. Actually, just jumped over the brick. Ignored him completely. They're going to regain control of the car. JK Lowell being so aggressive is going to actually invest the Primal Rage here to get a little bit more damage down. But look at that. 900 instantly applied to him. Had to use that as a mobility tool to escape rather than an offensive tool to kill people.
Yeah, and that's also 900 HP that's just fed into the ult bank of Eternal Academy. Right now, you can see a couple of members of Shoes Money Crew above the car. Not going to let it move for long, but Gustav just burned down. Music ain't going to save you from that one.
Unfortunately not. Superfluke's got that shadow online as well. Knows JK Lowell doesn't have that Primal Rage as he just used it in the last fight. He's going to get booped to the ground, and that is a very bad situation for you to be in. Committed bubbles now, in fact, to keep him alive. Molvik throws in the self-destruct as a Graviton Surge is thrown in now by Eternal Academy. Manages to find Gustav and Mouse just lying in wait. Slayer's going to die on the payload to buy some additional time, but Eternal Academy are going to find that first cap.
Took them about 2 minutes and 10 seconds to do so. That's not a bad time for Gibraltar first at all. Now they move into the hangar. Kenzie. Oh, they are going to get a couple of bad spawns here. That's going to be critically terrible for the Shoes Money Crew defense. They're going to have to hold a little bit further back right here. Eternal Academy may be able to claim high ground before the next engagement if they so desire.
Yeah, Kenzie just lobbing those right clicks in as well. Mouse does have that Graviton Surge advantage over Kenzie, but with all the poke damage that you take when you're defending and trying to re-engage, Kenzie's not going to be too far away from a Graviton Surge of his own.
Morphic going to be coming up from the high ground, wants to be able to pressure out Superfluke or anyone who isn't protected by the shield. Right now, that could be Zeal.
There's the grab, spotted the Diva Matrix, but Chow using a defensive self-destruct and a Transcendence to heal them all up as well. Now JK Lowell is called out, and another support ultimate's going to have to come out to save him. He ends up going down as he was behind cover when the beat came through. Mouse is going to also fall. A nice boop onto Superfluke to make sure he doesn't get the pin, but 2 tanks already dead. Molfik's not long for this world either. And all this meanwhile, the car was still pushing, Harry.
Oh, Hell in the Cell back here. And, well, Hell's about to get far worse. Enter the 6th circle because we're onto the 3rd point of Gibraltar.
Mouse is caught, potentially.
Oh, you are in trouble, my friend.
He is so low. Askov trying to get a cheeky boop, pretend. Oh, he does get it.
Who's going to get credit? It's Askov. Well done, son.
Nice bit of ult charge as well. 30% now for the Lucio. Did use the beat in the last fight too.
Speaking of ultimate charge, we did see layered support ultimates there from Shoes Money Crew as well. Both Gustav and Slur invested those in a desperate attempt to save JK Lowell. None of them were successful as well. JK Lowell was very quickly just beamed on down, and Kenzie once again has that Graviton Ray to play with. Molfik's the only thing that can save him here.
Grab on the corner, but a self-destruct launched in. Doesn't find anybody, and Shoes Money Crew, the health bars are just evaporating. JK Lowell's a little bit quicker than everybody else's though. He did have the shatter, but trading Reinhardt's here is very beneficial for Shoes Money Crew, as they didn't lose Zia. Well, they didn't lose their Brigitte either, so kind of can hide behind the break shield, but you can provide a whole lot more healing when that's alive.
Speaking of Brigittas, Obling there was such a hero. Managed to get a whip shot onto Superfluke. Not only prolonged the charge, but also gave time for Superfluke to die and actually got the killing blow as well, meaning that the burst damage couldn't be delivered to JK Lowell and he could save everyone from incoming damage. And now they will have their own attempt to use the Graviton Surge.
They're using that speed boost in. JK Lowell getting aggressive, but has to play a little bit further back. The Graviton Surge is going to lock 2 in. Chow using that self-destruct defensive yet again. JK Lowell gets pooped, but managed to save himself with his shield. Zeal wasn't quite so lucky though, as JK Lowell managed to find the pin kill. They trade 1 for 1 as Molfik ends up going down as well.
Well, that's a lot invested there for not a clean wipe already. Obling is going to fall down, though. This may well force a little bit of a disengagement from Shoes Money Crew, but JK Lowell could be caught out. Same with Mouse.
Really bad situation for Mouse. Used that personal barrier already, and Superfluke claims his life. The cart is continuing to move, Harry. They've got 3 minutes to deliver it to this payload.
Well, Graviton Surge also ready to go. Needs to be answered. There it is. There's
instantly
the
on the spawn, Harry, and Superfluke setting up for a shatter as well. JK Lowell's going to have to hold fast, and a beat is going to come through from Eternal to push them forward. A later beat from Gustav as he's solo in the back line, trying to deal some damage to Superfluke. Shoes Money Crew now having to rely on the spawns. Mouse actually switching over to the Bastion. The shatter lands and Opening ends up going down instantly. JK Lowell gets booped off the edge, finds the pin onto Chow, but it gets instantly taken out. A self-destruct in the back. Mouse scurries for cover. A Slur wasn't quite so lucky and he ends up falling over. A self-destruct from Molfik now to clear everybody off, but the numbers advantage are in favor of Eternal Academy.
And this could be what they wanted. There's a slam, but not going to get that much.
Yeah, there's a slam. He instantly died. He got booped up by Askov and actually killed him off mid-boop. Eternal Academy managed to find the last cap as well, and quite an impressive time bank for Gibraltar.
Yeah, quite an impressive time bank. Having any time left, Jaws, I consider to be an impressive time bank for Gibraltar, but it is going to be 2 minutes and 7 seconds. That's a 5 minute and 53 second completion right there out of their total 8 minute time bank, so quite speedy. The payload definitely not having many breaks. Shoes Moneycrew, unfortunately, I think their fate may well have been sealed when they got those poor spawns on second point in Hangar. We saw Mouse and JK Lowell forcing to have to feed themselves into Eternal Academy's 6-man presence, and that meant that they could only get 1 contest. And in that 1 contest, they also lost JK Lowell while investing 2 support ultimates, which isn't ideal at all.
Maybe that goes down to the coaching, like we said before. Just having a little backroom chat after the game. We know we've lost the series, guys, but we can still claim the map. We know JK Lowell likes to go aggressive. As soon as we see him do so, how about we just try and boot him into cover where the sound barrier can't land? For example, we'll just go super aggressive when we know an armor pack has been used. Such a vital tool that is for a Reinhardt, receiving that instant burst healing. And a Zarya bubble, of course, too, to try and protect him. It's happened more often than not. You can see the focus from Eternal Academy now is very much set on killing the main tank first.
Yeah, the effective tracking of resources is so important. Number 1, like you said, it's that repair pack, and the second is a projected barrier from your Zarya, whether that would be Kenzie or, of course, Mouse in another situation. Right now, Eternal Academy on the defense are showing the double sniper from Zeal and Kenzie. Could it stick with this? Gonna have to go toe-to-toe with Mouse. Not known to be a fantastic Widowmaker, but he's definitely had his moments here and there. Kenzie definitely a far more prolific Widowmaker, I'd say. Zeal's already used that Sonic Arrow. Will give some indication of where the enemy team are, allow for Kenzie to have those synergized headshots. Quickly gonna cede ground, however. Maybe knows that Mouse, playing on that Widowmaker, doesn't want to take any risks here.
Yeah, they actually saw Mouse use that grapple, and he's actually changing over to the Zarya. So using that more defensively this time. JK Lowell jumping up to the high ground, but he's going to get quickly met with a couple of arrows. And now, what does Double Sniper like? Likes high ground, it likes long sight lines, and that's exactly what Zeal and Kenzie are going to have to play with.
You know what they don't like, Jaws? They don't like touching the payload, as I'm sure many of you have noticed in your competitive games. It's going to be all down to Superbluke and Chow to make that happen. Zeal's actually going to go down a touch of this. Wanted to get the maximum usage out of that Storm Arrow, trying to make sure it's off cooldown again for the engagement. JK Lowell's in the back, making a deep dive onto Tri-Spear. This could be disastrous.
It could be. He's so low. Oh, just a melee would have killed him off. They trade supports, in fact, as Slur ends up going down. But look at the resources that were committed by Eternal Academy to try and save Tri-Spear. Zeal was left all alone. JK Lowell's gone down, yes. But the rest of Eternal Academy are going to get cleaned up. A perfect simulated dive there from the Winston, from the D.Va, in order to eliminate one of the healers. And that was almost all set up by Superbluke. He had that sixth sense. I saw him. He was like peeking his head around the room. He saw them, but didn't expect the dive to come out so quickly.
Ascot flying away as well to an ally who was not there when he arrived. Morphic claiming a lot of space here. No one caught out, however, due to the quick nature of that fight. No one going to be caught out of spawn, so they are going to get an early contest here. Superbluke is going to be able to move in onto the cart with huge presence due to his more reliable shielding available. Morphic has used his thrusters now, may wait for them to use that self-destruct, but of course can push it off the top should he so desire.
Tri-Spear gets targeted out. No one protected him.
Why?
He had a Discord orb on him as well. Morphic rains death from above with the micro-missiles into the ground. He has self-destruct to work with as well, but I don't think he's actually going to need it. Kenzie also falls as Mouse is just carving through people at this point. You just right-click as everybody's all bunched up together. Chow just dying on the payload. Shoes Moneycrew making sure this payload does not stop moving.
Morphic, right now, I'm glad we're watching him because he is a master of punishment right now. The second he sees Tri-Spear get incredibly aggressive, they give the signal of a Discord. They're like, fine, we won't pressure out your main tank because Tri-Spear is just going so far forward. He's desperate to try and maybe get that solo carry mentality going on. Eternal Academy now needs to try and contest it, but they're going up against the all-important combination.
Whoa, look at that grab. Mouse actually finds 5 people. Self-destruct is going to get launched in as well. It breaks the shield and instantly Superbluke is dealt the finishing blow by Ovling. A carved mech through. There's no way you're going to be able to survive that. Mao's on the high ground, just making sure everybody is punished for standing up against him. He's like, you want to contest me on the high ground? You're going to get grabbed.
You're going to step up to Mao's?
We've got 5 minutes in the time bank now. Shoes Moneycrew moving on to third. JK Lowell switching over to the Winston, to the Reinhardt, of course. Eternal Academy now reeling a little bit. They've got a couple holes to work with, but they need Superbluke to hit a big shatter here because the momentum is so in favor of Shoes.
We said Eternal Academy had a large time bank, but right now 5 minutes are available for Shoes Moneycrew to only do the last point. That was a 3-minute take of 2 points in a row. That's incredibly impressive. They do have a couple of tools in their bank as well. There is double rallies being popped to Superbluke going forward. He does have the shatter, Jaws.
Kenzie's already dead though. That's very bad news for Eternal and bad news to Superbluke, who can't rely on the Zarya now to fight They're going to force them back into spawn. They're going to have to go again rather fast. We're a couple of meters away from actually delivering the payload.
Oh, we got to go again, Jaws. Superfluke going out. Will he be able to get there?
What a grab. What a shadow, though. 4 people hit the ground as the rest of his team are grabbed. Slur and Gustav using the sound barrier and Transcendence on top of each other. Not a good look if you're Shu right now. Opening is going to get chased out as the shield almost goes down. Molfig trying to play some hero plays, but he can't do it in the back line all alone. Has to reset himself. Kenzie has the grab available. Superfluke, we said he needed to hit a shatter. He hit it and halted Shu's momentum.
They just walked on past Superfluke. Then maybe Shu's money crew, but the Achilles heel was found. Just turning around, laying 4 down on the ground, giving him a quick nap, giving him a quick dirt nap in this case. Kenzie building up once again towards that Graviton Surge. He's far ahead of Mouse. He can be proactive here. He can strike while the iron is hot, while Shu's money crew are still reeling, trying to generate those resources to Eternal Academy in a far better position. But Kenzie's falling low, and so is Superfluke. Already, the repair pack's been used, Jaws.
JK Low's going to have to be a little bit more safe too. There's so much pressure on him right now. They've identified him as the weakness, the over-aggressive Reinhardt. JK Low goes forward, gets booped in to Superfluke. A grab's going to come out regardless, and a self-destruct gets launched in by Molfig. Perfection needs to happen right now for Shu's money crew. They don't end up finding it, but at least they got a kill onto Zeal. Slur using that aggressive Transcendence to force them forward, but they get instantly grabbed and halted in their tracks. A perfect pin from Superfluke ends Slur's life, and Gustav gets picked off at the end as well.
Chow going to be using that self-destruct just as a quick remake. 3 minutes still remain, however, for Shu's money crew. These may have been some disastrous defeats, but it's far from over for the Path Pro side. Eternal Academy do have the Earth Shadow available, but very little else. Askoft and a little bit of healing will have that sound barrier, which of course he's going to want to try and answer Mouse's incoming Graviton Surge or JK Low with the Earth Shadow if you can get huge value here. I'd like to see potentially a bit of a flank from Zeal, try and get one of those cheeky shield bashes from behind onto JK Low, facilitate a big bash shatter combo that we were so used to from the previous seasons. Right now, it's going to be Mouse and JK Low eating up a lot of damage as they move forward with the rally.
Rally used, Shatter comes out, goes a little bit wide, Superfluke returns the favor, although it hits the shield. No one down just yet. Gustav using the beat to make sure they can engage easily. However, that barrier is going to fade away rather fast, and JK Low already fairly low. A late beat from Eternal Academy as they surge forward. The barrier goes down, and JK Low's life ends. Mouse is also going fairly low. They have to at least find a couple of picks here. They find Askoff, but he's going to be able to return to the battle rather quickly. The Graviton Surge gets thrown in, but instantly met with a Transcendence. Have they got the damage necessary? I'm not sure they do. Shu's money crew also get grabbed. They got the Transcendence in their backs, but Obling still goes low.
So many
Another
down.
shatter. Superfluke hits 3, and they continue their defense.
Oh, Molfig, do not execute him. You got to play the time bank here. 1 minute and 50 seconds still remains. They are eventually going to potentially take him out. Discord Orb will be there, and so will the Hammer Swing. A nice stagger right there. Shu's money crew now cannot have a larger time bank. With Eternal Academy potentially not even getting the completion here. Eternal Academy do look set to potentially get that map point they so desperately need if they want to try and finagle their way into the playoffs.
Chow with the self-destruct, can launch it in any moment. Another grab coming in though, this time on the side of Molfig. Finds Superfluke, actually landed on his head. Tri-Spear's now so vulnerable in the front line. Chow using his self-destruct a little bit more offensively and catches Mouse. They can still scurry back to the payload as it's been creeping back this whole time.
1 for 1, and of course the payload will continue to move backwards until they do touch it. And the more it moves backwards, the more chance that gives for Eternal Academy to come in for a second contest if they lose out on this point. Kenzie moving forward, he does have that Graviton Surge, potentially try and open this up. We haven't seen many eating Gravitons yet this time, Jaws, but potentially this could be where Molfig wins it out.
Kenzie's going to bait them around this corner. Perfect position if you have the Zaya right now. Just playing with that shield. JK Low is going extremely low. A grab's going to come out and a solo one onto JK. Everybody jumps in it to try and help him, especially Slur with that Transcendence. The hammer hits the ground and JK Low instinctively presses that Q key to keep the rest of his team alive. They have to utilize the healing. 2 people fall over, but JK Low is able to shield them, but not Mouse, not quick enough. He ends up getting pinned by Superfluke in the back line somehow. 24 seconds now remain for Shu's money crew to try and capture this payload. They're going to run back to spawn for 1 more attempt.
Mouse actually had a personal barrier while he was pinned there, but the remainder of Eternal Academy actually broke it while he was in that animation, which allowed for Superfluke to get the kill. And now, Shu's money crew, they need to move forward with such alacrity, with such pace. They need to put the pedal to the metal. They've got to put their running shoes on.
They managed to actually contest the payload. It was trickling back, of course, and JK Low lays down the shatter.
3 down.
2 people are down, but the beat is going to save them. Mouse gets solo grabbed. You don't need much more than that. A bomb's going to come in. 2 people go as well. Molfig finds a couple, but keeps the payload in contestation. Shoes Money Crew are not out of this just yet.
They're not, but Eternal Academy, they are all respawning and they are ready to come back. They can't move back so far. They have that chance. Mao's going to move over now onto the Sombra, wants to get those early hacks. Still, the main tank isn't here, but the Transcendence could be.
Transcendence from Slur, that's the only thing they've got to work with, but Tri-Spear's working to one of his own.
They've got to save JK.
Zeal is extremely low, and JK low is the same. They pulled the trigger on the Transcendence, but Eternal Academy had enough time to build it up of their own. A Shatter is now available. Super Fluke, he lays it down. One person falls, but he gets hacked. He's in the corner, defenseless, as JK low lays down the Shatter. Chow falls, and so does Super Fluke. Everybody now so defenseless. Kenzie got pushed off of the edge, and Eternal Academy want to get back to the payload, but an EMP halts them in their tracks. And Shoes Money Crew managed to cap in OT.
JK Low got a pin there onto Zeal while he was using the rally. Didn't actually get the kill because he had 350 health. The extra 100 armor accumulated, but it was not fast enough to stop the follow-up swing, removing that huge source of sustain that Eternal Academy were looking for. Somehow, Shoes Money Crew managed to clutch it out here, and they still have the potential to go for that 4-0. But of course, due to them having done this in overtime, they will get the courtesy minute, and that means a minute will be fed through into Eternal Academy's time bank as well. And we've seen what these teams can do with short amounts of time on those first 2 points. It seems like right now, this entire map is being defined by the 3rd point draws. The first and second are basically free.
Shu on the offense with a minute. Eternal Academy on the defense. They get their chance just a bit later on. Shoes Money Crew being the pace car at this point. Like you said, these first 2 points for both teams are spin free. He just walked to the point, it's no worries. We can win these first 2 fights.
It's free real estate.
It is.
Quite literally.
Quite literally free real estate. Eternal Academy, though, something a little bit different on the defense, Harry. They would just want it on straight 3-3. No shenanigans. Going to hold on to the payload to make sure they don't move it. Not an inch.
Yeah, the time for chicanery is over. No bamboozles this time. Straight through 3. They may actually decide to just drop straight down onto the cart right here instead of going forward. We'll have to see, of course.
Oh.
If Shoes Money Crew will be able to move forward at a good pace. Morphing right now going to be moving forward with the Bastion. Is he one on cart right now?
No, he's not. I wish. I wish.
He's going to swap over to the Sombra. May get an early hack here as the remainder of Eternal Academy just pour out onto the cart straight away.
They just want to burn as much time as possible at this point. And Chow can leverage this high ground as well, but Super League already going down. Morphing managed to find the kill in the back line. This is going to be so dangerous now for Super Fluke. Has to not only contend with JK Lol, who is swinging about violently at this point, trying to save his own life. Kenzie is also going to get cleaned up in not a moment. And they get the payload moving at least, but Eternal Academy has still burnt a large majority of their time bank.
And Morphic seems happy now to give away this D.Va protection that can be afforded to instead play on this Sombra. And I don't mind this too much. Seems like both of our D.Vas have had a lot of trouble eating out the Gravitons. Kenzie and Mal's both been very good at being able to negotiate those incoming Graviton surges. Overtime's about to hit, so now Eternal Academy only need to win 1 fight to make this work. But right now, drop on the high ground. Oh no, that's terrible. Slur's dead.
Bling is going to use the rally. I mean, he has to save the rest of the team, and EMP goes out and hits 6. This is the opening they were looking for. Zeal is also going to fall, making it a 1-for-1 trade, but Super Fluke had no shield for the majority of that, and now Morphic using the high ground. He has to hold the shield as JK Low is freely swinging in. Mouse has the grab online also soon as Tri-Spear has to back out. Everybody is so low on the side of Eternal Academy. They use the Transcendence regardless to keep them in the fight. Response from a Shoes Money Crew being that sound barrier. Super Fluke still buying a little bit more, but he is 1v6. OT is still in session, but Shoes Money Crew managed to cap first.
Ooh, Slur there also not breaking under the pressure. He knew that his team did have the resources to win that fight, so he didn't swap over to a Moira who could return far more quickly to that fight, and that means that he will now have a Transcendence at his beck and call. Kenzie, of course, caught out once again in that rather compromising position that you do find yourself in when you get the poor spawn on Gibraltar. And of course, overtime now being in session means he has an up to 12 or 13 second respawn, not quite as quick as it would usually be. Eternal Academy do have a couple of ultimates to try and make this next fight work. The Shoes Money Crew are going to be equally as well equipped, but Morphic doing a lot of that brawling damage, can get that EMP rather fast. He's almost got it, Jaws. It'll be the main ultimate here for Shoes Money Crew.
They got so many online, almost 6, like you said. A beat comes out and a rally as well from the side of Eternal Academy, but they get instantly EMP'd. A Shadow's going to hit the floor from JK Low, finds nothing, but that Graviton Surge definitely did. A pin kill, in fact a double from JK to make sure they can continue this payload on its path to victory. 2 points, Harry, are going to be acquired. It's so close to actually being delivered. It's free real estate, Harry. They're going to fight on third.
And it was a beautiful combination of pressure as well there from JK Lol and Molfig. JK actually hit a big fire strike that took Tri-Spear so low to about 50 HP. Zeal was also sitting on about 16 HP, which means Ascoff was like, I got to save my team. I got to come in with a sound barrier. And then Molfig's like, okay then. Overshield stripped away with the EMP. No chance of survival for Eternal Academy. But they did manage to save their ultimates. They did manage to save both the Earth Shatter and the self-destruct. Do know that there's very little way to mitigate that self-destruct on the side of Shoes Money Crew.
Oh, Molfig! He actually got stunned by the brick. He managed to hack away the Reinhardt, but now Gustav's going to fall as well. 2, 3 people falling as Mouse goes down. A Transcendence to survive just for the time being. A big shatter from Superbluke sends JK Lowell on his back. This is all over almost instantly. Molfig getting picked off so early was so detrimental to their push. Shoes Money Crew managed to find at least another couple of points, but they get halted just before that third.
Well, the free real estate theory holding true this time, 47.53 meters. That's the important one, Jules. At this point, I'm assuming that the first 2 points are going to be taken by Eternal Academy with their rather meaty and their rather hench time bank. 3 minutes and 7 seconds. Going to give them a lot of time to build up those ultimates and, of course, potentially a lot of time to take those alternate fights on the third point. Shoes Money Crew basically did all of second in overtime, which is to their credit. They didn't leave that carton. Often when you are fighting in overtime, it can be such a disadvantage to you because you can't get the disengagements you usually want. You want that ebb and flow of 3-3. You want to be able to move in and move away when you're under pressure. But you don't have that option when you are basically tied to the cart, otherwise your round is over regardless of whether you die or not.
Turn on the attack. I think they're going to run Chow again, just a little bit of DPS up front to make sure that Shoes Money Crew can't hold on the payload. They're having JK Low on the Winston once more. Did mention to me that he does prefer the Winston over the Reinhardt, where Monkey Goats has been a little bit so-so, especially on last patch when Brig could stun through the shields, of course. It was more of a Rhine affair. Monkey Goats really used in maps that require a lot of high ground, for example, of course, being Gibraltar, the one we're playing on. And you've got to think, especially if he's on his Winston, how much damage he was able to do in the first map of the day.
Well, Chow doesn't want to play on the Bastion anymore. He's going to go back onto that Moira. And like you were saying, Winston's actually going to do more damage as well to armor in our next patch, which will, of course, be far more relevant for playoffs when we accumulate ourselves onto that patch. Molfig is going to put down a little bit of pepper here and there, just giving him a couple of warning shots as he is going to notice Eternal Academy with their rotation, get a couple of knockoffs. Great play from him.
Nice little boop. And Superluke's now alone. Well, kind of. He's got Zeal at his back, and you've got the Lucio jumping up onto the high ground as well. Isn't going to go down just yet, but like you mentioned, JK Lowell is going to be able to play on the high ground now. Use that Tester Cannon and get so much cleave damage through. Engagement
all about Shoes Money Crew right now. They're going to be able to choose where this happens already. Mal's just jumping in. He's in big trouble.
JK Lowell actually on the payload now, pushing people away. Superbluke in a large deal of trouble. Is having to back off 30 HPS from the Harmony Orb, not doing a whole bunch. JK Lowell is going to be able to find him quite easily with the leap. Now they're going to be able to control the payload and control the space around it.
Nice short jump there, delivers a burst damage. 2 rallies going to come through, but still no main tank. Why would you
Zeal's now dead. They invested the rally there, and Zeal instantly dies. Well, that armor's going to be all for nothing at this point. Shoes Money Crew just like, okay, we'll trade those rallies, no problem. Like, we don't really mind that much. We've now got the high ground defense up again, and we have the rally armor too. It fades after 30 seconds, yes, but that attack from Eternal, they can't wait that long, Harry.
Yeah, consider me unconvinced after losing Superbluke to commit that much. Superbluke going to take a little bit of spam on his shield right here as he escorts his team towards the payload. Tri-Spear taking a little bit of damage, going to have to be very careful. Maybe pick up a health pack as they get that pressure on the payload. It's now stopped moving backwards, but JK Lowell is going to be looking to get a huge amount of cleave here. He can dive incredibly deep because he has that primal rage available if he goes for the short leap.
Mouse is down a grab. He's 15% away. Kenzie has the priority at the moment with Chow having that self-destruct. You can see the Z being spammed by Mouse to tell the rest of the team, my ult is only 10% away. He manages to get it with a nice little right click, and now they have the ult that they need. A primal rage used on top of the grab to make sure JK Lowell stays alive. Both self-destructs are sent in as well. Doesn't find anything just yet, but the Transcendence from Tri-Spear keeping the rest of the team alive. Superblue lays down the hammer as Mouse is the one to fall, but the beat will save him for the time being.
JK Lowell actually let back and put his projected barrier on top of a stun Mouse. That's such a huge play from him, and now the 100 charge is still here.
They use the beat also, 4 people inflicted with it. 44 seconds now remain as well for Eternal Academy to get back to this payload. Mouse is having to back off. Oh, he lets go of the payload for just a moment. And the point goes over to Eternal Academy. A couple of members a little bit caught out here, perhaps. They should be able to get back in time, but still, 30 seconds. They just need to push them off.
That was quite brawly, though. Doesn't mean that they will be able to get that disengaged. No one's going to be caught out in that spawn this time. Kenzie getting so close to the all-important Graviton Surge. It's probably the most powerful ultimate in the 3-3 combination, especially when you can combine it with the self-destruct to deliver that burst damage, which Chow is incredibly close to. This could be another fought win here for Eternal Academy.
It's racing, I think so is JK Lols. A little bit more so now as he gets a whole bunch of damage thrown at him. Graviton Surge thrown in by Chow, and Opening is actually the first one to go down. JK Lol rather aggressively just diving in, but Slur is already dead. Choose Money Crew are going to get routed once more. Eternal Academy don't invest really all of anything there. They invest the rally, they also invest the self-destruct to find a win team fight, and they still have 2 tank ults to work with.
Yeah, they haven't completed second yet, and look at Shoes Money Crew. Their ultimate bank is almost full. A couple of hit pellets here and there will give them what they need. It's going to be a quick disengagement. They're not going to go in to try and beat them out on second. This does mean
they're going to try hold them at the doors though, Harry.
They're going to be
what a
so
shadow!
close.
Wait, hold up! Chow gets knocked to the ground, so does Zeal. A Transcendence, oh so late. Your main tank's already dead, but instantly Super Blue comes back, finds the nice 4-man to the ground, but there's no extra damage to follow up. Tri-Spear is dead, and Chow and Super Blue just cowering behind the payload, and JK Lol has earned another shatter. Super Blue gets cleared off, OT's already gone, and Choose Money Crew will find a 4-0 against Eternal Academy.
Such a destructive final fight, Jaws, and Choose Money Crew, they've come sprinting back into contention when it comes to our standings here in Europe. We may have thought coming into this slightly favoured. We're Eternal Academy. They have the backing. They have the names behind them. They have Paris Eternal at their back. But Choose Money Crew, they have vim and vigor. They have Path to Pro. They have these veterans who've been around Contenders for so long. They want their second chance at playoffs, as we saw from their earlier Season 3 record of Choose Money Crew. And they're starting off on a great path with this 4-0.
They're finally off their 1-4 scoreline, now 2-4 in the standings, and in the middle of the pack as well. You're going to have to contend with people like Morning Stars, of course, and 1 point, and a lot of those situations are actually out of your hands when it comes to that. Paris Eternal now, Eternal Academy even, sorry, are going to have to rely on a map win tomorrow, map win next week, apologies.
A series win next week.
A series win, not a map win, of course, to actually even vie for a spot into playoffs. Losing 4-0 here doesn't net them any map score either, which they had an advantage over Shoes Money Crew going into today's match.
Yeah, they're not going to be feeling great about that one, but definitely elated will be Shoes Money Crew. And, well, we talked about Molfig at the beginning of the series, and I think it's worth talking about him again. He has been such a formidable player for this team, especially with a Sombra play as well. A lot of people think, he just plays a little bit of Diva here and there, but his Sombra has been incredibly impressive, being one of those more variable off-tanks. People like Wu Yao are in his company, people who can bring out a great Sombra as well as a great Diva, and when it's required, Zyra as well. Definitely a highlight reel for him.
Molfig had a fantastic performance last week as well. His Diva self-destructs have been just exceptional. And I think the whole tank line, in fact, from Shoes Money Crew, in fact, obviously all of them have been exceptional coming into the series, coming into the season from Trials and beating out some of the best and having very, very close series as well. And you'd want to say that they're going to perform pretty admirably next week. I mean, they're going to need to win to kind of secure themselves a playoff position, but they're still not out of the woods yet. They can also fall to that Trials position, but it does depend on a lot of other map scores and series scores as well coming into next week.
And let's not forget that Slur and JK Lol, we said it before, they're new to Contenders. These guys are fresh blood in our circulatory system of European contenders, and they're doing incredibly well so far. They're putting on such a show. We've seen Slur just pop off here and there, get a huge amount of headshots, just clean up a fight entirely, get an opening pick onto Tri-Spear, which basically won them Blizzard World.
Well, it does look like we got an interview lined up for you as well.
Hey,
there's
our head coach.
Someone we've been talking about a whole bunch.
How's it going, man? How are you feeling?
Oh, it's such a relief winning over Paris, but also kind of sad that old teammates, old friends, playing against them. But it was a good match for us.
Yeah, it definitely feels like your team is momentum-based. Would you agree on that? There's been a lot of times where it's been 0-4s against you, and then today is very clear that you're a momentum-based team. There's nothing really stopping JK Lol once he actually gets in the groove.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. It's it depends on how good of a read we have and how well the players are doing on that day. So yeah, for sure, momentum based.
Are you enjoying coaching and trying to hone the craft of more synchronized style of 3-3 with JK Low leading that as a Winston. His dives today, along with Molfig, have seemed incredibly impressive and just so pristine.
I mean, I like normal goats with Reinhardt more, but JK just persists on playing Winston because he loves that character. So we try and implement it where we can, and it seems to work out because he's really good with his Primal Rages.
Well, you're not out of the woods just yet. There has to be a few other situations where you're guaranteed a playoff spot, but who is the scariest looking team if you, like, who's the team you actually don't want to face when you go into playoffs?
I would say Angry Titans. I should have said Giganti, but right now Angry Titans are looking the strongest.
Yeah, and I'd say that's a safe bet. They're more Hurricanes, to be fair. Both obviously undefeated still. And new patch coming up. I can imagine you've been practicing just a little bit, but it looks so much more open. I hope we see a little bit of Batiste, but do you think it's going to stray any further away from what we're seeing now?
Oh, for sure. We played in the Jane tournament on Sunday on the new patch and tried out some fun stuff, and we got destroyed by a Baptiste comp. So for sure, there's going to be a different comps incoming.
Oh, I hope so. Well, good luck in your game next week, and fingers crossed you do make it to playoffs as well. Thank you, dude.
Thank you.
Well, there you go. Hopefully, we're seeing a little bit of Batiste. And Jane's Future Tournament, of course, being played on a Tournament of Future Champions, even being played on the current patch as well, which is also scary. And, of course, Batiste is actually live in your ranked games now if you wanted to go feed on them.
Yeah, I had to tweet about that tournament because there was just overwhelming composition coming through from a team of just Torbjorn Doomfist. And I was like, what in the world is this? Even on offense, it's not even like your comp games. It was Engineer, and he's just a really good Torbjorn. But one of the things we talked about there, JK Low playing for Winston, he's going to be so much more effective. He does more beam damage against armor, which means he'll be able to cleave through 3-3 even more effectively in the next patch.
Yeah, Doomfist is looking pretty scary as well. I did receive a couple of cooldown buffs. I know Purge is on that team as well, which is a prolific Doomfist player too. Hopefully we'll see a little bit of those comps when it comes to playoffs, but that is it for this match. You've got to stick around though. We've got a hype one coming up after this break. We'll see you guys in a bit.